Hello everyone! And so we continue to take a closer look at the characters of the digital circus. In our previous video, we took a closer look at the main character named Pomni and saw a lot of interesting and unexpected details. If anyone hasn't watched that review, be sure to check it out. I'll leave the link in the description. Today, we will also take a close look at another interesting and no less important character named Ragatha. At the end of the video, you will see my interesting assumption. Once again, let me remind you that in the first clip, I tried to pick out all the strange moments of the digital circus. If you haven't watched this clip, you should definitely watch it. It's very interesting. And we continue. We meet a character named Ragatha in the first minute of watching Glitch Productions' stunning and mind-blowing Amazing Digital Circus. So what do we see? It's a ragdoll. In appearance, it is very reminiscent of the Molly Coddle character from the 1994 animation Bump in the Night, and even the earlier character of Raggedy Ann from the 1977 movie Raggedy Ann and Andy, a musical adventure. I'm going to assume that the person who got into the digital circus, once named Ragatha, loved one of these characters as a child. It turns out that the history of the character's image is the same as Pomni's. Well, let's take a close look at Ragatha together. The first appearance of Ragatha happens in the very first minute. In the first scene with Pomni, who at that time didn't know yet that her name would be like that. The very first sentence of Ragatha is, "Let's just try to calm down. Everything's gonna be okay, new stuff." Imagine yourself in this situation. Some unfamiliar new character suddenly enters the digital circus and starts getting nervous, pulling parts of her face and screaming. It is not yet known who this is. It is not clear what this character is and how he will behave in the new society. At that, Ragatha is the first to calm the newbie down. She tells the newbie in a calm and kind voice, everything's gonna be okay. And when Jax and Zubul don't blink an eye, Ragatha tells the newbie the truth of her tragic digital circus experience and asks them, "Guys, don't be mean." Ragatha shows kindness and care for the newbie without even knowing her. We see Ragatha as a kind and positive character. However, Ragatha is not as simple a character as it seems at first glance. But first things first. Next, we see Ragatha respond to Pomni's question about Kane's adventures by telling her that they're just something fun to do to, prevent us from going insane. Immediately, Zubul disagrees with Ragatha's "speak for yourself." It becomes clear to us that in such a difficult situation, when several people for a long time are trapped in a limited space, and even in the form of strange creatures, it is really hard not to lose your mind. Perhaps the adventures that Kane organizes for the characters of the digital circus are really a way for them to have fun and not become insane. At least, that's what Ragatha thinks. But Zubul's line shows that not everyone thinks that way. In this scene, we see Ragatha as a balanced character with a rather stable psyche. Perhaps the reason for Ragatha's resilience is that she knows how to adjust to the situation at hand, rather than trying to confront it. Meanwhile, if we follow Ragatha closely throughout the first movie, it becomes obvious to us that not everything is so clear-cut. To the question, Pomni, why not try to find a way to leave? Ragatha told her that they did when they first got into the digital circus, but after a while they realized that there was really no way to leave, and the continual pursuit of an unattainable target starts to make you crazy. At this, we can see how Ragatha developed mental tension. Her face distorted and her eye began to twitch. It seems to us that at this moment, Ragatha is on the verge of a nervous breakdown. There is a feeling that what she fears most is about to happen to Ragatha, being in the digital circus. Just a little bit more and Ragatha will go crazy in front of our eyes. And then something terrible that Ragatha is so afraid of will begin. But it doesn't. Ragatha hangs back for a moment. You can see her making an effort to pull herself together. After that, her face goes back to its usual calm and friendly state, and we realize maybe someone will go crazy, but definitely not Ragatha right now. In this episode, we saw the calm and balanced Ragatha turn into an unstable hysteric who was on the verge of madness for a moment. But it was only for seconds. It was this episode that gave us a hint that Ragatha's soul is not all that serene. And this episode showed us how quickly, in a matter of seconds, her state of mind can change, just when there is nothing to portend trouble. Why is that? That's what we're going to find out over the course of the series. And this character is definitely one to watch closely. Perhaps Ragatha saw some of the characters in the digital circus trying hard to find a way out. They only thought about it and maybe they went insane. We can see how important it is for Ragatha to be in her emotional state and to be able to keep her sanity and presence of mind. But if Ragatha is really afraid of losing her mind, it means that she accepts that it could happen to her, and she is terribly afraid of it. However, Ragatha tries her best not to show this not only to others, but even to herself. So Ragatha has done her best to accept reality as it is, and come to terms with it, but not go crazy. Ragatha tries her best to see the positives in every situation, however small they may be, as this is what helps her to keep her presence of mind. And that is why we continue to see a calm, friendly, and outgoing Ragatha. In the episode where JAX, Ragatha, and POMNI were walking to check on KAUFMO down the hallway, past the doors from the rooms, JAX just walked in silence. All the while, Ragatha was telling POMNI about how they live. We see how Ragatha is friendly and positive towards the newcomer POMNI, which can't be said about the other characters. We also see that Ragatha calls KAUFMO our friend, despite the fact that he has been acting strange lately, and even locked himself in his room for a long time. Perhaps she considers everyone to be her friend, despite their different personalities and behavior. Ragatha tries to find positive traits in all the characters. We see throughout the two series how altruistically Ragatha behaves. She may not do it consciously, but when she starts thinking about the other characters more than herself, she becomes truly courageous and fearless. Perhaps this is what allows Ragatha to maintain her presence of mind and inner calm. Respect for the presence of mind that Ragatha has maintained is evident when an abstracted and furious KAUFMO burst out of his room and was about to attack Ragatha. Ragatha was of course scared, but she didn't run away, because she was thinking above all of KAUFMO. Perhaps she remembered that they'd had good times together, maybe even been friends. Of course she really wanted to try to save him, and that desire was stronger than her fear for herself. She really wanted to believe that the situation could still be fixed and tried to talk to an abstracted and furious KAUFMO. This selfless behavior of Ragatha on the one hand gives her a touch of sacrifice, but on the other hand makes her immensely strong in spirit and distracts her from her inner mental torment. Ragatha's spiritual strength is surprising and undeniably respectable, as a battered Ragatha was glitching, asking POMNI to find Kane while trying to calm a frightened POMNI with a trembling voice. Not only that, Ragatha is in an unstable state that could end horribly for Ragatha. She is being highly glitched. But even in this dire situation, she apologizes to POMNI for making POMNI's first day in the digital circus so awful. Ragatha was thinking primarily of POMNI at this moment, and it was helping her distract herself from her own dire state. Yes. Personally, I am struck by Ragatha's goodness and solicitude. It is these traits that certainly help her in the digital circus. At the end of the movie, we see Ragatha again, who never waited for help, and crawled herself with great difficulty to the center of the hall where Kane healed her. I mean, a lot of different people are saying that Ragatha resents POMNI for running away from an furious KAUFMO and leaving Ragatha behind. Also for the fact that POMNI never brought Kane to her. I can't agree with this. First, when POMNI was running away, it came out that the furious KAUFMO turned his attention from Ragatha and chased after POMNI, and then, because of POMNI's agility, KAUFMO fell down. Hence, by such actions, POMNI saved herself and Ragatha. And if that had not happened, how many terrible things would the furious KAUFMO have done to both Ragatha and POMNI? And secondly, look at the end of the movie. Where does Kane's fixed Ragatha stand? She's standing next to POMNI. Standing across from her are JAX, Kinger, and GANGLE. Ragatha has spent a lot of time with them, and the newbie, Pomni, only sees them on her first day. And yet she is standing next to Pomni. I think Ragatha already considers Pomni her friend. That's very interesting, because friendship builds strength. Friendship gives support in difficult times. That is very good in this movie. And very interesting. I really want to see what good their friendship will do them. Now let's look at the name of this character. Ragatha. Is it accidental? Or maybe it is a deep intention of the authors? What can we say about her name? There is information on the web that the name Ragatha is formed from the words ragdoll and the female name Agatha. With ragdoll, we understand everything. What can we say about the name Agatha? Why Agatha? I did a little research on the name Agatha, and here's what I found. It is believed that the name Agatha comes from the ancient Greek name agathos, which translates as good and kind. That's interesting. Can we say that about Ragatha? Yes, we can. What else is known about this name? It is believed that women with the name Agatha are characterized by modesty, poise, and restraint, and often do not want to show their emotions. In addition, it is believed that women with this name are more sociable, often ironic, and even sarcastic. They are interesting conversationalists, but are restrained in emotions and do not expose their personal lives. And they are also judicious, persistent, and able to achieve their own. Do not like to complain about their lives, and on the external manifestations of difficult to determine what feelings own this person. On the surface, this whole description looks a lot like our Ragatha character. Or maybe the character that Ragatha should become after overcoming her inner contradictions. But it is possible that it is the outwardly calm Ragatha who will give him more than a few surprises. Let's watch her. And it is also believed that the favorite color of women with the name Agatha is navy blue. Fantastic. But Ragatha's dress is navy blue. I think the authors are up to something, and Ragatha has some very important role in the digital circus. Let's think together, what is the role of such a character? Write your guesses in the comments. I'm really looking forward to solving this mystery. And I also remembered the name of the famous English writer Agatha Christie, the unsurpassed author of many detective novels. What a twist! Did the authors really choose the name of this character of the digital circus so successfully? Or is it my imagination and coincidence? Or maybe this is the real clue? I think Ragatha has to accomplish something very important and show her character. But for some reason, her name was hardly ever mentioned in the first episode. Only one person called her by name once. It was Pomni. Why do you think that is? Write in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. New guesses and exposés are waiting for you. Do not forget to put a like. In the next videos, we will continue to study the characters of the digital circus and search for answers to questions. It will be interesting. Bye, everyone. See you soon.